Hello. Right now, today we are going to be doing our main attraction of the tour, which is the whole National Mall loop. We're going to be hitting sites like the Jefferson Memorial, the Lincoln Memorial, MLK, stuff like that, Tidal Basin. Very cool stuff. We're also going to be hitting the National Monument. It was pretty cool down there. Anyways, you can see us in the video right now walking to McDonald's. I didn't really include many footage from that. It's not that interesting. So, I guess I'll see you when we get our first walking time lapse to, yes, you guessed it, the Washington Monument. So, what you can see us doing now is that Mr. McLean is giving us our briefing for this morning, right in front of this very colorful vending stand. And we're gonna move on now. In front of us again, you can see the National Air and Space Museum that we visited yesterday. So that circular building that you're seeing right now is the Hirshhorn Museum, which is one of the museums in the Smithsonian complex. Now, further on, if you can see that far, is the Smithsonian Castle, also known as the Smithsonian Institute, which is the base of operations for anything that goes on in the Smithsonian complex on the National Mall. Now, over here, there's some construction work to restore the actual green on the National Mall. And in the distance, you can see our 555-foot-tall friend standing tall and proud over on the west side of the National Mall, which is our first stop, the Washington Monument. Now over here, we are getting a closer look at the Smithsonian Castle, or the Smithsonian Institute. Yes, I know it looks a lot like the National Basilica, but nope, it's not. It's actually further up and on a hill. That Roman architecture style that you see on your left, that is the USDA building, where all the United States Department of Agriculture stuff goes on. All their administrative offices, all under one roof. There we go. Now we're getting a closer look at the Washington Monument. And yes, I got some pebbles stuck in my shoe when I was there, so yeah, it really hurt when I was walking on all those dirt tracks and stuff. So here we see Mr. Martin giving us a bit of history on the Washington Monument. One of the facts he gave us is that the reason why the top looks a bit more brownish is because that the pressure washers that they use to wash in the Washington Monument, see pun there, it only goes a certain way high, and that the rest has been dirty for, I don't know, however, whenever they invented pressure washers. So right now where we're going is that we are heading towards the main vista of the tidal basin, which is where the Jefferson Memorial is located. We'll get more facts from the Trent Coons when we get there. Breeze though.
Trent Coons would like to give a presentation right now. The body of water behind you is called the
Tidal basin.
tidal basin. Thank you, Trent Coons.
Oh, sorry.
The purpose of the tidal basin is
Washington D.C. used to be a swamp, so that holds all the water from areas of flooding.
so when the Blank River goes to high tide or floods,
The tidal basin
floods the Blank River.
Potomac,
Okay, and it prevents it from flooding. What is the depth of the water in the tidal basin?
10 feet.
10 feet. And the monument over Mr. Coons is called the,
Jefferson Memorial.
and that's where we're going now. B plus.
B plus.
B plus.
Because of Tony.
And yes, Mr. Evans said it. We are heading to the Jefferson Memorial. So right now, Mr. Evans is telling us of how the Lincoln Memorial, which you can see in the distance, the Washington Monument, and Capitol Hill all line up to form a horizontal line. And here, how the Washington Monument, the White House, and the Jefferson Memorial line up to form a vertical line. Interesting, isn't it? So here, they say they want us to be quiet for respect, so let's get quiet. And yes, everyone is doing the Rocky thing where they rush up the steps of the Jefferson Memorial. Yes, they do this here. Of course, we are American tourists. How can we stop? And we're on a move again. And yes, people are fishing here even though they're not supposed to, especially fishing in the tidal basin. So over here we finally reached our next destination, which is the George Mason Memorial, which isn't much, but it's very calming and peaceful. So, here's a bit about George Mason. So, he is known as the father of the Bill of Rights, and he was a founding father of the United States. He was a very big contributor in the works of George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Alexander Hamilton, and other founding fathers of the United States of America. Back on the road again. So right now where we are is that we are once again bordering the tidal basin, which it almost seems instead of trailing the National Mall, we're trailing the tidal basin. Anyways, we are hitting all the major ones near the tidal basin, then we will head somewhere else. So, enjoy the time lapse. So to our left, we see some ball fields, and really that's it. The reason why there aren't many tourists around here is that there aren't really many things around here for tourists to enjoy. Back to the time lapse. So now here we hit the FDR Memorial.
Alright, Trent just shared a lot of useful information with me, and I thought it would be good to share it with everyone else. What monument is this? FDR. Okay, how many terms as president did FDR have? Four. How many other presidents have had? None. Okay. This monument is broken into how many segments? Indicating what? Okay, and the main ingredient in this memorial is
Okay, sorry to end that abruptly, but this is the end of Day 2, Part 1. The video is too large to play as one file, so I will have to split it into two for this day. Sorry for this inconvenience. Well, anyways, stay tuned, and I'll see you in Day 2, Part 2.